Hello and good day, and let's see. I know we're getting started, and the ladies and I have been chitter-chattering just a little bit, and so welcome back, Tina, Shelley, Gina, and Bianca. Nice to see you here. This is our special bonus webinar from our 9-day challenge, Raise Your Vibration for Success and Prosperity, and I don't know about y'all, but with this full moon energy, I think we're just going to do a quick meditation because that was the download I just got for a moment. So we're just going to clear the air and we'll see who comes in specifically. So if y'all would just be present and close down all other apps or tabs and just be here, you'll get more out of this webinar and especially the meditation if you're fully present. So just close your eyes, take in a deep breath. Feet flat on the ground, hands in your lap, palms facing up towards the sky. Just breathe in and breathe out. Listen to the sound of our voice as you settle and ground your energy. Imagine there are roots growing out from the bottom of your feet, down, down, down into Mother Earth, 6 feet out, all around. This is not to keep you planted, just to help you exchange energy with Mother Earth, releasing all your cares, your worries, fears, thoughts, anything and everything that you're willing to let go of and to release. And Mother Earth readily and openly accepts this for healing, transmutation, and transformation, and giving back to you healing, grounding, soothing, calming, love-filled energy. Pathiel, P-A-T-H-I-E-L, Pathiel, Angel of Opening Pathways, he's called the Opener, is here with us right now, helping you to open up the pathway in your heart, your mind, your soul, and your physical path. Each step you take forward along this path in this beautiful garden, you leave behind something, an experience, a mindset, a belief, a fear, a hurt, a betrayal, a heartbreak. You leave something behind you where it is easily and quickly absorbed into Mother Earth for healing and transmutation. Each step forward, you feel lighter, lighter, and lighter. You come to a small clearing and just open your arms and feel the breeze on your skin and inhale all the scents of the flowers, the trees, the bushes around you. Hear the birds singing, the praying mantis, the hummingbirds, butterflies, dragonflies. All the agents and animals of change, the chameleon, just let it all go. Just let go, let go, let go. Now think of one thing, one experience, one goal, one desire, a part of your dream that you are working on, that you want to manifest, that has already started to manifest. Think of one thing and see it fully realized now. Say thank you for the gift. Thank you for the healing. Begin to come back along the path where you started. The only thing that you're bringing with you is that one piece of the whole pie, your life purpose, your dream that you are focused on. Everything else remains where you left it. Hathiel is waiting for you at the beginning from where you started. He raises his left hand and touches you on your forehead to help you remember, to help you reconnect with this moment in time, anytime you wish, as often as you wish, and staying as long as you choose. Begin to come back to this place and this time. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, and open your eyes and be back now. Let me know in the chat box that you're back, and I'll put the name of the angel in there for you. So, should you choose to watch the replay, you're going to notice I get up during the meditation maybe. The garden maintenance people decided to show up now. So I thought I would shut the window before it got too loud. It's like, okay, now I know why they didn't come on Wednesday, because they wanted to visit us today. So let's get right into this. We have a lot to share with you. I hope you have something to write with. And everybody's back. Gina, Shelly and Tina, I can see you. Gina, I hope you're back. Oh, Tina's back. Yes, I see you typed that in there. I can see your eyes. So I know you're back. Thank you. All right. So there are actually 3 tiers. There are 9 levels, and each level has, thank you, Gina, has an angel that corresponds, or I don't want to say that corresponds too much, because every time I do something that the angels are guide me to do, different angels will come through. So it's not always the very same angels for every single thing. It just happens to be this project, and this is what. Now I'll keep these angels in this level, these 9 levels intact, because this is the information that I channel at the time. So there are 3 tiers. Tier 1 is ground 0. And each tier has 3 levels. And then tier 2 is creating traction. And tier 3 is achieving success. Now, I want to make something very, hopefully understood and very clear. You can have success points or milestones each and every step. So it's not you have to get to all the way to 9 before you're successful. That's not true. And I think it was during one of the earlier days during the challenge sessions that we talked about, you are really already successful. You're successful where you are. Now let's get you to the next level. So this is really just a groundwork for taking these trainings or these lessons and clearing all of your all of your energy and doing all the steps to the next level. So in tier 1, we have 3 levels. Level 1, negative cash flow, always struggling. Level 2, more money than month. Level 3, focusing on not enough. So these are the basic ones where a lot of people tend to get stuck, or they'll have a feast and famine and they'll kind of go in and out and do some of these things. So level 1, a little more detail. Negative cash flow, always struggling. No money, no clients, no job or hate job, no prospects or opportunities. It's like nothing is happening. It looks like nothing's happening, and they're so focused on what is not happening that they're not seeing anything else. The angel for this is Chasan. Let me type this out for you. Yeah, Chassan. He is the angel of air. So it's remembering to breathe, meditation, and grounding, which is partly why we started off with the grounding meditation. And Pathiel is he's actually the angel for level 2. But when you ground, and this is an exercise that you can do, it's like a 30-second meditation, maybe a whole minute, wherever you are, whether you're on the 20th floor or the ground floor, or you can go outside and do this, you can stand with your feet shoulder width apart and imagine roots, tree roots growing from your feet down into the ground, 6 feet out, and you just keep on going down. You can do 6 feet down, 6 feet around. It's easy to remember. When we do a longer, deeper meditation, we have our roots go all the way down to the center of Mother Earth and really tap into that incredible energy. That's something that you can do really, really quick. And like I say, it's even on the 20th floor. It doesn't matter if you're not on the ground floor. Don't allow conscious mind, ego chitter-chatter to trick you that, oh, well, I'm not on the ground, I can't do this. Well, just imagine it being on the ground, because all the materials in that floor were taken from Mother Earth. So why not, right? It's just a different form. Chasan is the angel of air, so remember to breathe, meditate, and ground. Because if you are focusing on the negativity of everything, that's exactly where you're going to stay. Now, it sounds easy to say that. I've been there more than once, more than twice, more than I want to remember. And yet, it's a truth. When you start focusing on something else, and again, this is a general, everything will always work, or things have a way of working out for me, period. Don't say anything else after that. Keep it super general. That is easy enough to, or for the conscious mind to just really wrap itself around. Things always work out for me. And if you look back, 9 times out of 10, it really did work out. Even if not in the moment, it worked out not that far later, right? So, things happen. So level 2, more month than money. It kind of sounds like level 1, except it's a little bit better, because sometimes you have enough, but sometimes you don't, and you're looking for ways to stretch. So there are ways to stretch, and yet there are ways, if you're looking at the dates and you're counting the days between when you get the next paycheck or you get this and that, you're still focusing on not enough. And it's so easy to do. It's like, okay, and I catch myself on occasion, it's like, it's only the 3rd. Shut up. It's like, it's already projecting to the 1st of the month, and I'm going, everything's paid. What are you babbling about, Charlie? I've named mine Charlie because it just, gives me something to, I like the name Charlie, and it's kind of soft, and, name whatever. A teacher of mine, gosh, years and years ago, when I was first allowing me to get back into all this spirituality, said, you kind of picture your ego, that monkey mind, as a chihuahua. And I don't really like chihuahuas because they're barky little things, they just never shush up. So I thought, well, I'll make mine a Great Dane because they're kind of cool. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. No. Chihuahua size is fine. Thank you very much. I'll just deal with the yapping. I didn't want that to be a huge Great Dane. I realized that I was getting ready to manifest. So if you want a little cockapoo or a parrot or something, you know, make it small, make it cute. It's like, keep it friendly, not something huge like a big bear or whatnot, because it'll get grizzly and it'll get snarly and gnarly. So when Charlie starts to make a fuss, and he doesn't always, but sometimes he does, and when things are going really, really well, and you're in the zone and this and that, and things are flowing, even though you have no idea how you're going to get from the 3rd to the 30th or 31st for everything to be due on the 1st or somewhere in the middle, Charlie or your conscious mind is going to kick up some dust. It just is. So your job is to calm it, because if you give in to that for very long, you're going to delay the process and you're going to stop it. You could stop it. And I didn't remember to do this, and I'm not going to get up again. If y'all are familiar with the tarot cards, or some people call them tarot, Tarot, and one or any of the other decks, and it has a picture of a tower falling apart, that's kind of Armageddon that the conscious mind tries to get you to tie into, because that's what's easiest. It's easiest to go down that tunnel. And that's what it likes to do. That's what it was taught to do. And that's what so many other people are doing. And that's where the energy goes. And it's like, oh, that's really going, it seems like it's going with the flow of energy, but it's really going against it. And then when you go with the flow, it goes, wow, this is too easy. Well, nothing's going wrong. How come you're so peaceful? Oh no, we have to stir something up for you. And so it'll stir something up, silly. And it doesn't matter. And you'll go off that tangent and you derail yourself every single time. Any questions so far? Okay. Level 3, focusing on not enough. We've kind of talked about this before. I'm sorry. Level 2, Angel, is Pathiel, the opener. You open your heart and you open your path. Sorry. And we already typed his name in earlier. He was the one who showed up for the meditation for us and with us. When you open your heart to trust and faith, and you're working with your mindset to turn things around and keeping it general, you open up your path mentally, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. All of them have to be in alignment, or at least in better alignment, for things to start flowing more easily. So level 3 is focusing on not enough. And we've talked about this before. Thank you for XYZ, but I need more, or where's the rest of it, or it's not enough. Anything after, once you say but and whatever else you add, you're focusing on the negativity part, the opposite of what it is you want, what you're attempting to get out of your own way to allow. And that angel's name is Pashar, P-A-S-C-H-A-R. There you go, Pashar. Angel of vision and discerning the truth. Because the truth is, what you're seeing is a reflection of the past. It is of your mindset, your old mindsets, your outdated belief systems, what you've been told, what you've been taught, what you feel is a truth. In reality, something that is repeated over and over and over again and manifests in that negative way or positive way, you believe it, you believe it, you believe it, becomes a truth. A belief can become a truth without it actually being a universal truth. Okay? Y'all with me still? Okay. All right. So in order to create a new truth, or in order to uncreate or dissolve a truth that really is an illusion, and the illusion is what you see is all you're going to get, all you're ever going to have, and no matter what, there's only so much in your checking account and it's never going to get filled up again. Well, that's not true. It's not true. If you have a business, money's going to come in. If you're working for someone else, you always have that next paycheck. If you're, receiving, I don't know, checks from some kind of a trust fund, it always comes. So it's a replenishable supply, but ego would have you believe that's all you've got. This is all you have. Not necessarily the heart thingy, however people do that, but this is all you have, and that's all you're ever going to get. And that's not true. Unless you totally believe that and you kind of, manifest nothing ever again. So Pashar will help you see that the truth is there's all of this wealth and all of these things being held for you in your spiritual escrow account. And your job is to write withdrawal slips and then get the heck out of the way so the withdrawal can actually start showing up. And here is a truth. You only receive what you feel, really, really, not just here, but in your heart and your soul, believe you are worthy of, that you are willing to receive. And if you don't like the amounts, you start saying thank you anyway, and then you change it. Then you give yourself a pay raise and start to really step into that. What would it feel like to have, I don't know, $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, consistently? Now, maybe some months it might be 4, and some months it might be 55, some months it might be 6,000, but it, averages out to about $5,000 a month, something like that. How would that feel? What would you do with it? This kind of goes along with the stories that we wrote a couple days back, writing out the woe is me story, burning it, and then writing in what it is you really want to see in your life and what you would do with the money, pay bills and all this kind of things. Go on trips, give to charity. So then we're into any questions on tier 1 before we, just dive right into tier 2? Anyone? No? Okay. Gina, you're good? Okay, yes. So tier 2, we'll just keep on going, and then if you have a question, please type it in at any point, ladies. Tier 2 is creating traction. So level 1 is negative cash flow, always struggling. Level 2 is more money than month, or more month than money, just getting by, wondering how you'll make ends meet again this month. Level 3 is focusing on not enough, so you're kind of going back and forth. Okay, I got this. Oh, maybe not. Well, maybe I got this. No, I got this. No, well, so it's kind of still a little bit back and forth, but you're gaining some ground a little bit. And tier 2 is all about creating traction. Level 4 is making ends meet. So, you've worked through a whole lot of the surface and deeper work. The negativity, you're starting to gain some ground where you're saying, okay, you're breathing, everything's paid. And it may seem like you're limping along, and yet, it's okay. You have enough. There's not more month than money. Things aren't just popping up and taking you out, like maybe a new roof or the water pipes bursts. Nothing is happening that you haven't planned for, that you haven't maybe set money aside for you if you're starting to do that. So everything is kind of like, okay, even keel. You're balancing out. There's still a little bit of struggle with mindset and vibration, so you're still kind of going back and forth a little bit. And the angel for this is Beth Nael. Beth Nael. And she's about expansion and releasing limiting beliefs. How cool is that? So you're still working with now the upside or the downside is you're always going to be working with mindset, just at different levels of vibration and getting to more of where you want to go. And even when you reach whatever your goal is now, you can always give yourself a pay raise. You can always get to the next level, okay? So she is the angel of expansion, which means you are expanding your trust, your faith in the process. You are seeing results, even though it may not be as much as you want, but you're focusing on what you have, what's coming in, and you're starting to see things change around you. So if you are in a job that you're not crazy about, it's okay. Start seeing it as the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. Be content where you are. Being content does not mean you have to stay stuck. Being content is being appreciative and having gratitude for, I have this job and I'm really good at it, or, I can do this pretty well. It's time to look for something else, and I'm grateful to have it until it's time to go. So you're going to just be really, really grateful and just keep appreciating what you do have. Start working on your resume. That's just an idea. Right. And then for the clients you do have, you just appreciate the holy heck out of them. You have a bed and breakfast and you want the rooms occupied all the time. Remember to create a space for you to have a downtime, like a break. Otherwise, you'll never get a break and you'll need to go to the bed and breakfast someplace else. But you program and say, okay, so twice a year, I'm going to take a break. And in the meantime, we're going to have full occupancy. And I love taking care of the guests. Now, maybe you have one or two, and you focus on those guests, and you just see the other rooms filled. Okay? And the meals that you're going to prepare, that kind of thing. Level 5, breathing a bit easier. There's a small surplus. There's a little extra. It's starting to look like, okay, so now you can go to the movies or get a new outfit or go to Starbucks or whatever. Get some ice cream. I don't know. Take a small trip down, take a day trip. Go to lunch in some exotic place, 100 miles away. Do a little, what do y'all call, sightseeing or window shopping, and then come home, or get a couple of candles. So there's a little extra. There's a little breathing room, and that's really cool too. Zachriel, Zachriel. Zachriel is the next angel. Releasing the past and stop comparing yourself to others. A lot of people think that by only focusing on the positive, they're going to change things. Well, there is some truth to that, but if they don't reconcile the junk, they're really fooling themselves. It's like trying to use affirmations when you're not in a good place, because affirmations will turn around and bite you in the butt. They will backfire, because all it will really do is say, see, it's not really happening. These affirmations are worthless. They're crap. They don't work for me. It doesn't work for me. Well, you're absolutely right. When you're only using affirmations during those times to turn your vibration around, you have to be very, very general. And Abraham Hicks teaches this, and I totally agree. It works. When you're not in a great place, you need to raise your vibration, so you do some neutral things. You do the incense, you do the salt bath, you take a step back, you take a break for an hour. Yesterday, after the class that we taught, and we did the email and all those things, I did something else. I don't remember what it was. And then all of a sudden, I was flat out, no energy. Not a negative energy vibe. It was just, I was out. So I slept. I mean, I didn't have a lot of choice. I just slept. That was it. The tank was empty. And I'm like, okay. And I was supposed to have a reading yesterday. And for some reason, it didn't work out, so we rescheduled for next week. But during that time, I got to rest. I really needed it, because I totally fell asleep, was involuntary. It was just, I was out for about an hour. And then I was good until 7 o'clock. Don't always have to do that, but when you recognize, and sometimes you don't have a choice. If you're working for someone else, you may not have the choice to just stop and take a nap, but maybe go outside and ground yourself. And another way you can ground your energy, you might want to do this where no one can see you, only because they'll ask questions and you might feel, I can't think of the word, conspicuous. You don't want to be like, what's Terry Marie doing now? It's like, whatever. So maybe go into ladies' room or go outside around the corner or something, and you stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and you do like little bounces, and you do 200 of them. It sounds like a lot. It may be 5 minutes. I count them on my fingers. So for every 10, I raise a finger. Like this is 10, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, and then it's 20. Okay, so you do that, and it's going to help you release the energy. It helps you ground. It helps you channel. It helps you just stop. That's a super quick way. That and the roots growing out of your feet. Okay. I've given somebody a headache, or somebody has a headache. Sorry. I'm feeling it right here. So this is a lot. This is why we started an hour early today, because this is a lot. And yes, you'll have access to this, because I want to make sure that you can get back to it if you want to. So level 6, balance. Consistent flow. You're managing stress with faith and trust. You're building momentum. So we've gone through negative cash flow, more month than money, focusing on the wrong end of prosperity. We're making ends meet, and now breathing easier. And now there's more of a balance. Okay? And the angel for this. Now, consistent flow doesn't mean you have the exact same amount every month, unless you're working for someone else and you have a steady paycheck. And even then, it could be a little bit extra. Maybe there's an extra, if it's every 2 weeks and you get an extra paycheck every once in a while. I think it's twice a year. If you get paid once a month, there are more days or less days, fewer days. So, consistent doesn't mean to the exact penny every single day, every single week or month. It means that when you balance it out over 2 or 3 months, you have the same amount coming in. It's consistent. It fluctuates just a little bit. And there's always going to be fluctuation. I mean, that's the way of things, right? There's always an ebb and flow. So the angel is Toliahad. Let's see. T-A Toliahad. I don't think I spelled that right. There, Toliahad. He is an angel of movement, emotional healing, and money is huge emotion. It's huge energy. It's a big deal. Because without it, we don't get to do very much. That's the way this particular planet, this particular realm works. This world works on the money energy. You don't believe me? Go to the grocery store and say, hey, I love you. Thank you so much for the groceries. Bye-bye. They're going to say, that's nice. We want the money. We're glad you come here, but we want the money. We want payment. Go to your doctor or your massage therapist or your healer. Well, not the healer, because some of them don't charge, and they don't charge very much. So let's leave that part out. I'm trying to fix that for everybody. Or at least give them guidance for that, but that's on the sidetrack. So try and go to the electric company and say, hey, I like the energy. Here's some love energy back. And don't pay the bill. See how long you can go without having actual electricity in your house or your business. Energy is money, and money is energy. However, you still get to create space for it to come into your life and into your experience and bank account. So when you move forward and you are creating a consistent flow, that's a sign or a manifestation of more emotional balance because you're more trusting, you're living more in faith, you're still doing your part. Talia had is the angel of emotional healing and moving forward, specifically, okay? Helping you with consistent flow. And it's a consistent flow of your emotions, your beliefs, and your energy as well. Those all get to kind of be aligned at the same time. So the more often you're in alignment, the more you're going to see opportunities for whatever. You know, we talked about sometimes it's a dime on the ground or sometimes it's a penny. That's a sign, even though it's a very small, minute piece of it. It's a sign that flow, your tap, your faucet is open. Pick it up and say thank you. You have to jump up and down in the parking lot. They might look at you a little weird, but you know, you can inside you can be doing a little jiggly dance, right? So, level 3. Oh, I'm sorry, tier 3. Sorry. Achieving success. Now, the caveat to that is each time you go from one level to the next, each time there's a small or big victory in any one of those levels, that is success. Most of us believe and feel, because this is what we've been taught, it's what's been pounded into our heads and our hearts for, I don't know, centuries, because we inherit all this stuff from our past lines, our grandparents, great-grandparents, and all the way back up through wherever. And it just kind of comes through down in the DNA and the cellular structure. It's part of, it's built in. It's like it's inherited. So you don't just inherit facial features and some characteristics. You inherit all the juncolitis too. There you go. So achieving success is now you're creating more of it, you're seeing more of it, you're acknowledging more of it. Your level 7 is increasing momentum. You're going with the flow more often. More money, opportunities, more money is coming in than going out. So this is like the next level of up from level 5, the next 2 levels, where you have a small surplus, a little extra. And then level 6, which is about balance, is consistent flow and managing through trust and faith, still doing your part. And now you're having increased momentum, meaning, you know, the steam engine has started to go. If you're in a plane, you're starting to take off, or at least you're gaining altitude. And the angel for this is one of my favorites, Shamshiel. Did I spell that right? Shamshiel. And what happened here? Let me type it again. Shamshiel. IEL. Okay, Shamshiel. His name translates into light of day. So you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Actually, you've been seeing it for a little while now. You're starting to have a little extra, a little surplus, the light at the end of the tunnel, and now you're at level 7 and it's getting bigger. Maybe you're halfway through the tunnel now. It's like, okay, now you can really breathe. This is when you really, 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 really want to maintain all of your practices. This is usually when the human person says, okay, I can take a break. You can. Just don't take too long a break. You want to keep doing your practices. And, you know, the energy clearing, the journaling, the I love blah, blah, thank you for, I'm grateful for, I appreciate. And you don't have to use them, you don't have to use the same one all the time. Just yesterday and the day before I think it was I love you, I love la la la, and thank you for blah blah blah. So you can switch them off, keep the energy fresh, keep it energized, because it can create yeah, okay, I did this before. And so there's no fresh connection with what you're doing. So you can do the I love for 3 or 4 days or 5 or 6 or whatever, and then change it up as guided. You don't have to change it up every other day, but you don't want to do the same thing for 4 or 5 months because it becomes rote. It's just a habit and it has no meaning. It has less meaning to it anymore. So there's no fresh energy. Shamshiel is light of day. Begin again every day. So do something towards your keeping your momentum, and see it as you're going to be planting seeds all the time, which is good because then you will have a continual harvest. So it's not like you plant a bunch of seeds and then you're going to go forever and ever and ever. It doesn't work that way in nature either. Even the rose bushes need to be pruned so that it can grow more, have fresh juice, if you will, or energy flow and chi, and produce new blooms, right? So you're pruning. Think of it as pruning your mindsets. And as it comes up, if it's a big deal, do one of the steps, letter writing, burn it, do the woe is me story, whatever it is you need to do. Do the forgiveness work. Level 8, maintain momentum. You want to continually to plant seeds so that you can continue the momentum. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to be straight up that way. You're going to have a little bit of this, but it's not going to be like the roller coasters, which I hate. And I've never been on. Have y'all been on a roller coaster? I hate them. Like, can't do it. It's too much of a drop. Ugh. So, you know, people think that success and prosperity goes like that. Well, for some, it may look like that, but it's really kind of, you know, an overnight success can take 10 years, 5 years, or 25. And people all of a sudden, wow, look at so-and-so. You have no idea what so-and-so went through. You have no idea. They might let you in on a little bit, but most of us are so feeling shame or guilt about what's behind us that we don't allow us to fully release it. What if somebody found out and they don't like me? Well, then they weren't worthy having around in the first place. If they're judging you because you stumbled or you fell down on your batuckus a couple times along the way, then you know what? They're not really there for you anyway. And allow them to go on their way, because you don't need that energy. You don't need that judgment, criticism, pressure, whatever it is that they think they're doing, to be infecting you and to invading your own energy and your dreams. And so we're building reserves. Level 8 is maintaining momentum, and you get to build reserves. So if you haven't already by now, level 7, you're increasing momentum, you're going with the flow, more coming in than going out. So if you have $500 extra a month, save $200 or $250. Keep at least 40 to 50% liquid assets so that you can get to it for movies or clothes or a day trip or a new course or whatever. So in 2 or 3 months, so let's see, it's June, you have $500, save $200 or $250. July, you have $500 again, or maybe you have $300, save $50. And I used to do this when I was making $600 a month, and $300 of it went to my car payment and car insurance. And I had to save for my own taxes out of that. So if I can do that, I was living with my parents and I was paying them rent and buying my own groceries. If I can do that on $600 a month, now granted this was about 20 years ago, but it's all relative, okay? If I can do it, so can you. And there was a point when I had a lot of money because I would save a certain portion every month and I wouldn't use all of my slush fund, if you will, my extra. So maybe I might have $600 or $700 extra. I would only save, I would put only so much in, and I might leave myself $300 that time. So I always leave yourself some play money, because if you don't, you're going to start taking out of the savings account and say, well, first time it was really easy. Now, I'm not saying you can't ever take it out, because what you're saving for might be something huge. Who knows? A trip around the world, a cruise, a new computer, I don't know, a whole new wardrobe. You're setting that aside. But if you're scrimping so much that you're not having any fun in the meantime, it's like you're back at level 3 again, right? Wrong end of prosperity. You're seeing it all in the savings account, but there's nothing you can do with it, because Terry Marie said I had to save it all. No, I didn't. Save a portion of it. And as your slush fund or your play money bucket gets bigger, save more of it, but always keep a certain amount for yourself to play with. That way, when the conscious mind starts saying, yeah, but we're not doing anything with it, you say, yeah, we are. I get to do this every month. I get to do this every week. Okay? So building reserves, and the angel is Asmodiel. A-S-M-O-D-I-E-L, Asmodiel, angel of prosperity and abundance. Each one of these angels so far will help you with that particular level to get you to the next one. Okay? Asmodiel is the angel of prosperity and abundance, helping you build your reserves in ways that work for you. Now, maybe you're paying off debt, so still keep some play money, and maybe you're not able to save it just yet because you just really want to get debt free. Then do that. Figure out your own system. I figured this out for myself, I don't know, maybe 30 some years ago. Nobody taught this to me. If you have 2 or 3 credit cards, people tend to try to pay off the biggest one first. Don't do it that way. Pay off the smallest one first. And then, so say you have $100 a month that you're paying on credit card bills. Pay the minimum on the 2 largest ones, and then you pay all the rest of the $100. So let's say it's 25 and 25. I'm just making numbers up. So then you have $50 and you paid on the smallest one. When the smallest one's done, you move that up to the next smallest credit card bill, and then you pay that puppy off. And you'd be surprised. It really goes pretty fast. Been there, done that, at least 3 times. It works. So, level 9. Soaring above the ordinary. I love this one. Love them all, especially this one. You reach your financial goals. You give yourself a pay raise. Now, the cool part is you're not starting over. You're just starting back at, once you give yourself a pay raise, you're really going just to level 6, which is balance. Because now you're not at any of the other 5, because you're already making money. It's consistent. You've built up momentum. You've created traction. And now you're giving yourself a pay raise. Maybe it's a couple grand a month. Maybe it's double. And so you're working to fill in that void, or the void in the sense where you're creating new space. You're filling that in with the proper mindsets and the proper steps for you and your business or your career to move forward. So you're kind of going back to level 6, but you're at a higher vibration level 6 than when you were first coming up from the bottom to the top. Make sense? Okay. You doing okay, Gina? Feels like you're taking lots of notes. I can see Shelley doing it. And Tina is with us. I know you're going to be visiting the webinar again, so, or at least that's what I sense now. I'm just glad y'all are here. Yeah, Jeduthan. I think we mentioned him once or twice before. He is the master of howling, where you sing your own praises and you're just really having that avalanche of appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness, mindfulness. Soaring above the ordinary is reaching your financial goals, giving yourself a pay raise. And Jeduthan will help you speak more clearly with love. Because when you go to step up to that next level, when you go to expand, all of the stuff that you work through the first 5 levels, some of that from some of those places is going to come back up, and it's going to tap you on the shoulder and go, oh yeah, you think so? Well, let me show you something. And something will come up, whether it's a big thing or a little thing. And you just say, thank you, that was then, this is now, because most of it will just be a thought that'll try to trigger you. Maybe it will, maybe it'll push a button, maybe it'll knock you on your buttukas. And there is a real possibility that you could crash. And I don't mean financially, but emotionally, energetically, and even spiritually. And in this instance, a crash can be a good thing, because what it is doing or showing you is that you have really outgrown your current model, your current belief system, more than you thought you did or are, and your physical self is doing its best to catch up to your spiritual self. So the physical conscious mind has to get rid of all the junk. It has to crash, almost like being rebooted or reprogrammed. And during that time, it will test your faith. It will feel like everything's a lie. Nothing is ever working out for you. No matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, it always crashes. In some ways it does. Because only in the dust, it's like that phoenix rising out of the ashes. Things have to burn off, metaphorically speaking, in order to grow something new. You have to prune it. You have to weed it. You have to water it and fertilize it. And you will crash. You will run up against walls. You will fall on your buttukas. You will be knocked to your knees. And that's when you get to choose, are you going to stay in that mud pot? Or are you going to weather it, do what you need to do, and if it's a couple days, an hour, a day, or a week where you're in that spot that hit the fan, honor where you are without getting sucked down and staying there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. Good. What is the angel of? The angel is, his name translates into master of howling, and it is speak clearly with love. Okay? So it's, especially when it's time for you or you want to give yourself a pay raise, and you can do this even if you're working for someone else. When I first started working here in El Paso, I went from, didn't seem like a big difference, but was like, I think it was $8.50 or $9 an hour. And this is like in 97, 98. So it wasn't a lot of money, but it was still decent. I was making that in Hawaii, working part-time, and I had my own business, so I was able to do some things. Then I moved to El Paso, and the pay scale was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't even get a place of my own. Wasn't able to find a full-time job. I didn't speak Spanish, and I still pretty much don't. So that kind of limited a lot of options here along the borderland. So I was making $6 an hour. And where was I going with that? Yes. So when you give, that's what I was doing. Thank you. So I started saying to myself, excuse me, brought up something in someone's throat chakra. I started saying to myself, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm making double. I'm so grateful I'm making double. And I kept saying that. And I may have shared this with you somewhere along the line, that I kept saying that all the way up to I $55,000 working for somebody else. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just kept saying it. It works. I'm so grateful to be making double. Period. And you just, you don't have to say a number, because then the conscious mind will go, you're not going to make that. Wow, who do you think you are? And back in the day, making $1,500 a month before taxes was a big deal. I didn't ever think I would ever be worth that or find something I could do that I would actually be paid to do. I didn't know anything I could be paid for $1,500 a month. That was a big deal. Well, I did that and surpassed it a few times over. But you have to get yourself in that vibration, and you have to create that new neural pathway from your conscious mind to the subconscious. Otherwise, it's going to be a challenge. So, quick review. I'm being reminded to give you a quick review. Tier 1 is ground zero. Negative cash flow, always struggling. Level 2, more money than month. Level 3, focusing on not enough, the opposite end of prosperity. Tier 2, creating traction. Level 4, making ends meet. Level 5, breathing a bit easier, small surplus, a little extra. Level 6 is balance, consistent flow, managing stress with faith and trust, building momentum. Tier 3 is achieving success. Level 7 is increasing momentum, going with the flow, more coming in than going out. And level 8, maintaining momentum, building reserves. Level 9, soaring above the ordinary. You reach your financial goals, and you give yourself a pay raise. Any questions? Okay. Any questions, ladies? Do you need me to repeat? Just a second. Yes, Tina?
No, I was saying I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Okay, thank you. Reading lips is reading energy, yes. Reading angels, yes. Reading lips, we need a little work there. Okay, so here is, and I'll put this in the email as well. This is a special bonus. This is a one-on-one breakthrough session with the angels and I. Oops, it's a 30-minute session, and all you need to do is to click on that and schedule a time that'll work for you. Okay, and we'll put that in the email. That is a special gift for being a part of the 9-day challenge. Any questions about what we've covered? Any aha moments? I'm going to unmute y'all. So, anyone care to share anything real quick? We have some time. Don't have to. I'm just opening it up in case there's any questions or anything. No? Okay. I either did a really crappy job or I did a really good one. So, thank you. I'm never really quite sure. Well, I do what's guided, but I like to know that here, yes, I have a human side, and I want to make sure that you're getting what you want, what you need, and what I promised. And this, I kid you not, the information that I shared with you today came before I knew what I was really going to be doing in the 9-day challenge. This was on the way at the airport, not on the way to the airport, but at the airport waiting, having my Starbucks, my chai tea before going through all of the TSA stuff, and just literally wrote that down within 30 minutes. Just boom. That was it. Channeled it all. And the angels want me to let you know that I don't have all these names in my head, not all of them. So I had my Sacred Angel Realms book with me for some reason. I don't even know why I took it. And I just kept flipping through, kind of like people call dowsing. You just open the book to a certain page, and there was the angel, and I went, okay. And that's what I went with. They gave me all the levels and what it was first, and then we went back and channeled the angels, and it's just really cool. You can do that. You don't have to remember all their names. So I'm probably getting off sidetrack because saying goodbye when something ends is not my easiest subject, especially when I enjoy doing it so much. We didn't get into crystals in this particular segment. Everything that we shared with you on days 8 and 9 regarding crystals, bring that in with this. Okay, so the grounding, the manifesting, prosperity and abundance, the love, the clearing, the protection, all of that. You can use anything and everything you're called to, whatever you feel. Let me put my glasses on for that. You have an amethyst there? Excellent. You want to share a little bit about that one?
Oh, I just meditated with this morning, but through the class, I learned to put the points toward the wrist. I was always kind of just holding it, so it was awesome.
You can do either. The points can pull it in, but I like to have the base out and the points pointing towards my wrist, because then I know for sure it's coming. It's coming in differently. It's coming in, that's true, more directly or more intensely. So either way. Either way. Cool. I'm glad you're doing that. All right, then. I guess this is pretty much it. I'm going to unmute y'all, and maybe you would like to say bye-bye.
Bye,
It has
everybody.
been a pleasure.
Bye.
It's been a
Thank
great
you.
pleasure.
See you soon.
Very
Bye-bye,
blessed to have had
ladies.
this.
Thank you.
Bye.